I'm really interested about what you said about, from an hour and a half to an hour and 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I want to know your framework now. Like, I'm really like curious about it, like let's talk about that for a little bit.
Here's my framework. All right, so I'll walk you guys through this. So first thing I do when I jump on, I still use this to this day because a person could, if when I go to the third question is why did you jump on the call with me today? Typically, a person would just vomit at the mouth of like everything that's going on in their life. They're gonna tell you everything. So this framework, they could start checking off these boxes, but it starts with building rapport. Finding out where they're from, this, that, and the other. We do about 2 minutes. Then set the expectations for the call. You got on this call. I'm like a doctor. You're like a patient. I'm going to give you a diagnosis off of what you tell me and what if we can work together, if we'll be a good fit at the end. And then I identify the decision maker. If there's say a husband and wife and only the wife is on the call, I'll end the call right there and I'll have them reschedule to bring the husband back on. So I'm not asking or answering the same questions. And also, if the wife got off the call, had this great call with me, and she told him the price, he doesn't understand the value, right? I wasn't able to ask him questions. And if there's a husband and wife that gets on, and the wife is the one that's interested in the product, but the husband has his arms crossed in the back, I'll disregard and talking to her. I'm going to talk straight to him because he's going to be the problem. He's going to be the roadblock to this whole situation. I already know she's going to move forward, but I got to convince him. So once I identify the decision maker, I roll over to finding a reason, asking them, why they booked a call. What is the purpose of this? What do you want help with making more money? What are your goals? Let's talk about your goals and your aspirations and your why. So I really talk about the why there, and I just kind of dig deep on that why, so it makes it so they could visually see in the future, not the future, but in the rest of the process that they can relate with me like I'm just like them. And then once I do that, I dig a little bit deeper on those aspects, identify their current situation, where they're at now, where they want to be. I extract the pain through the pain points, all those roadblocks and stuff like that. And I use this all as like ammo. I put ammo in my gun. So if they ever have like a rebuttal, I'm like, oh, remember when you said you wanted to, help your sister-in-law out because she just got a divorce and all these other things, you want to put kids through college. So I start really digging deep there. And then I walk into identify where they're at currently, identify where they want to be, and then identify why they want to be there in the first place. And then get them to admit that they have a problem, they need help, and what they tried in the past truly sucked. And then I secure a commitment, and then I customize the offer. So it's pretty much simple like that. I don't have a script. Like if I walk into a call and scripted, I have more of a format, like an outline, and I can touch on any of those points based on when I ask them, why did you book a call with me? Because they'll pretty much, sometimes people will just completely vomit at the mouth for 10 minutes because on the calls, I don't do really too much of the talking. I'll ask a question, they'll give me the answer, and I'll ask another question based on the answer they just gave me, right? So I use a little bit of NLP. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but I'm sure Brian does. But I use a little NLP inside my sales calls, and it pretty much walks them through the process. So it used to take me, when I had a script trying to, make sure I got every little point, an hour and a half, an hour on a call. And it was just, at the end of the day, 5 or 6, 7, 8 calls, I'm just drained. I don't even want to move forward no more. So then I invested with Dan Henry. I'm sure you guys know who he is. I invested with him about 2 years ago or so, right after, pretty much right before my mentor had passed away. But anyways, I invested with him, and he had a sales process that was just phenomenal. So I adapted to his sales process, made it my own, and I'm bringing in, people 45 minutes at the most.
Yeah, that's really, really impressive. And like you said, you have kind of like a checklist, and you realize that the calls, they pretty much follow the same pattern for the most part, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. As long as we check them all off, and then I can actually make a custom offer for them. But you want to have everything checked off before you make an offer, because there's going to be a lot of things left out, or they're going to feel some kind of way. You're not going to answer all questions, because once you answer all the questions, they have no choice but to invest.
Right. And it's the same thing you do if you're writing a webinar. You got to follow a pattern. Things have to be in order, because if you try to skip steps, people aren't going to be ready for the offer.